Just no mother-in-law caught peeping on me and dear husband. Edit. I just woke up from a very long night, but very short sleep, and I'm overwhelmed with all of the supportive comments. Thank you all. I am going to spend a good chunk of my day going through them as soon as I get some time. Throwaway because my husband knows my main Reddit, hoping he doesn't find this because I don't want him knowing I'm asking strangers on the internet for advice. I don't even know where to start this story, but here we go. Me, 27 female, and my husband, 31 male, have been married for 4 years. My JNMIL has always been a JNMIL. DH was a huge mama's boy when we first started dating, and she was extremely inappropriate at the beginning, which I had DH put an end to fast. She often would ask about our sex life, making sure we were using condoms, and even had the huge balls to ask DH, boyfriend at the time, how often we did it. There's plenty of crazy stories I could post here. Anyways, where I live, restrictions are loosening up a little, meaning we can slowly start visiting close family, and at JNMIL's request, her and JNFIL were the first people we extended our bubble to. It was almost like my parents and my family weren't even in the question until her family was integrated in. I agreed his parents would come before mine, just because one of them has to be first, and honestly, it doesn't truly matter at the end of the day, as long as my parents are next and not her aunts, friends, cousins, niece. So me and DH went over for a long visit this Saturday. We got there about 11 AM and didn't leave until well after supper. Now here's where it went weird. JNMIL and JNFIL have a hot tub, so DH and I brought our bathing suits so we could relax a little in the hot tub before we left. It was dark outside by the time we went out there. We offered for them to join us, but they both declined, so we went ahead and got in ourselves. About 10 minutes in, we saw the motion light outside come on, but thought nothing of it since it can turn on randomly sometimes. Another 20 minutes go by, and I heard a noise from outside, so I looked out of one of the windows, and I saw a figure in the dark quickly ducking down as soon as I looked. I told DH, so he got out and was about to open the door to check it out, and then the motion light came on again and we saw JNMIL trying to scurry her peeping butt back inside. This just feels so wrong and invasive to me. She was just sitting out in the dark watching us for 20 minutes. DH and I were shocked to say the least, and we both went back inside the room with the hot tub to take in what just happened, and neither of us really knew what to say to each other. It was obvious what she was doing. We changed into our clothes, and I walked around the outside to the car while DH went inside to talk to JNMIL about what just happened. When he came out, he told me she admitted to what she was doing, peeping, and her great excuse was, well, I know you two have been trying for a baby. And I just wanted to be sure nothing was going on in my hot tub. Like, what the duck? We're grown-ass adults. I know better than to have sex in a hot tub, first of all. That's not good for your vagina. But I'm genuinely offended and disgusted she thinks I would go to her house to have sex in her hot tub, or at her home in general, when we have a house of our own we can get it on at any time. Do you think there was some kind of disgusting intent behind all of this? Like, I just don't know what to do or think after this. Especially when we even invited her to join and she could have kept an eye on us that way instead of being a mega widow about it. DH and I have been discussing how we plan on handling this. This whole situation really makes me want to cut her out of our lives. I'm a private person and this has crossed a major line. DH and his mom have always been close, but he is 100% on my side about this. I don't want to make him cut his mom out, but our marriage should be coming first too. What should I do? Hell. TLDR, JNMIL was caught peeping on me and DH for 20 straight minutes while we were in the hot tub together. She admitted to it and her excuse was she wanted to make sure we weren't trying for a baby in her hot tub. Peeping Mil update. Hi Reddit, I meant to post an update the day after this happened, but it was not a long enough time frame, so at the advice of a fellow Redditor, I deleted it so I wouldn't get in trouble with a mod. LOL, I just haven't gotten around to reposting, as I've been spending a lot of time with my husband over the last while. It's been about a month since that crazy mess happened at Mills. The day after it all happened we had a long serious talk about what we wanted to do, and I'm very happy to say that we are now 1 month NC with JNMIL. My husband and I both agreed it's for the best since his talk with her did not go so well the following day. I was not in the room when he called because I do not have anything to say to that woman, but when he called her she was acting like nothing was wrong. And just started talking about COVID and how she's happy it's almost over, lol. He asked her if there was anything she would like to say, and she played dumb. Like she didn't admit to him the night before she was peeping on us, so he flat out told her, so loudly I could hear from the other room, "It's extremely creepy you were spying on my wife and I last night. I don't know what you thought would happen or what you were trying to see, but I will not stand for you crossing such huge boundaries like that. Wife me, and I will no longer be coming over and you are not invited here anymore until you can respect me. And my family and apologized to both of us. Well, I guess she said she didn't want to or shouldn't have to or something like that, so he hung up on her. He has never spoken to his mom like that ever, and while it makes me sad because I know how much this really hurt him, I'm also so proud he stood up for us like that. I've let her push me around a lot over the course of our relationship, and it's been hard for him to see what was happening in the past, but I think this really woke him up. Thank God. Mil still refuses to apologize to me, but honestly, things are nice without her barking down our necks all the time. My husband and I have a lot more time to relax together now that she's not stressing him out so much. Anyways, thanks for all the advice, Reddit. I appreciate it. This is pretty much where the story ends. I'm going to leave this as a success for now. If any more crazy shit happens, I'll be sure to update you guys. TTFN. The time my Mil left me in her apartment and ran when the fire alarm went off while knowing I wouldn't be able to hear it. So one day, a few months back, I was visiting my Mil at her apartment. I was helping her sort through some stuff. Important, I'm deaf. I was sitting on the couch, sorting through the things, and she was in the kitchen making tea. After about 15 minutes I got up and went into the kitchen to see if she needed help since she hadn't come back and she wasn't there. She wasn't in the apartment at all. I assumed she needed to step outside for a while. She eventually came back. I asked her if everything was alright. She says the fire alarm went off and I ran. I was halfway down the stairs when I realized today is the fire drill, and that there isn't an actual fire. She's laughing and I'm sitting there feeling really awkward. I didn't want to cause a scene, so I excused myself and left. Where I live, it isn't really a drill per se. I don't know how to word it better in English. Here buildings have to set the fire alarms off periodically for reasons I don't really understand. Something inspection. Fire department. Part of the law. Before they do it, the management sends out letters and emails a week or two before, and the day before with the date and time to the residents to let them know it's planned, not to panic and to stay in their apartments when it happens. When I told my husband, he wasn't happy. He calls his mom and they argue for a while. Mil's argument: there was no fire so I was completely safe. DH's argument: Mil thought it was an actual fire, otherwise she wouldn't have ran, which meant that she left me in there knowing that I wouldn't have heard the alarm in what she presumed was an actual fire. He hasn't really communicated with her after this happened and she refuses to admit she did anything wrong since no fire. No actual emergency in her words. His family is staying out of it, but my Mil has been sending texts about how starved for his attention she is now. I know he will continue to keep his distance from his mom, so I'm wondering whether I should just let it go. Keeping him from his mom because of what might have happened in another situation doesn't sit well with me, but at the same time thinking about what might have happened if that was an actual fire scares me. Future Mil driving me to my breaking point. Some backstory. About 7 months ago I moved in with my boyfriend and his mom, and at first everything was okay. My boyfriend is Mil's only child and his dad isn't around, so the Mil is by herself and doesn't have a job, hasn't had one for over 2 decades. At first I didn't see any red flags. Mil seemed to really like me, and care about me being with her son, but as time went on it got so bad to the point I won't leave my room except to go to work and maybe sometimes eat. Since Mil doesn't work, my boyfriend has to pay for every little thing she wants, like a new TV, and the 3 packs of cigarettes she goes through in a day. Now that might sound bad to say that, but we are both really young, and don't have the best jobs, so him having to pay for her expenses means we have to go days without eating just so that she has her cigarettes. And she'll get mad if he buys me a $2 candy bar. Mil is always starting fights with him, comparing him to his father and belittling him in every little thing he does. Right now we live in the basement, but the way our apartment is set up, there is no door from the basement to the upstairs. It's all open concept and it's just stairs leading right to the living room. Mil refuses to sleep in her own completely furnished and cleaned bedroom, so she sleeps on the couch every night with the TV blaring so we can hear everything downstairs. Mil makes him do every little thing for her, such as getting her soda or food or whatever else, and she has a car that he bought for her that she has driven maybe 2 times in the past 6 months. Mil never leaves the house because she's afraid someone from her school will notice her, but makes us go and pick up whatever new TV or couch or whatever else she wants all the time, at my BFS expense. I felt bad at first because I know that he's all she has, but she treats him like garbage, and sits on the couch and whines because something hurts, or she's sick, or she's hungry, or God knows what else is wrong with her. She uses medicines like Tylenol or ibuprofen, and Xanax in excess because she says something is hurting, but refuses to go to other doctors and see what's actually wrong if there is anything wrong. Every time we leave the house, Mil calls him at least 3 times, even if we're going to the store 5 minutes away, and if he doesn't answer, she will scream at him when we get back home. I know the first thought would be, hey, just move out, but the lease is in his name until next year, and we can't exactly kick her out because it's not like she moves from the couch anyways. I don't know if this post will sound harsh, but there is so much more that she does on the daily that just drives me insane. I don't want to go upstairs anymore because she's up there, and she asks what I'm doing 50 times even though I'm just trying to go to the bathroom. I feel so lost and alone, and I just don't know what to do anymore. I love my boyfriend so much and I see us having a future together. He treats me with so much respect and really cares about me, but it seems she will always be the priority. Because if she's not happy, then we're all fucked. Mil has talked about how when the lease is up here that we'll just continue to keep living together forever and ever, and I don't even want to imagine that. I just know that I'm at my limit and I don't know what to even do anymore. More days now than ever, I just don't want to wake up anymore and have to deal with this.